Okay, so here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra Island Target exclusive Baroness with Cobra coil. I don't know what that means, but I do know that's a motorcycle and that's Baroness, and this figure is a bitch to get a hold of. So I hope you guys all get a chance to pick this figure up because it looks pretty cool, and I know a lot of people have been talking about it, and it has been tough, you know. A lot of people are having problems getting a hold of her, so I was shocked that I found her. I popped into Target at like 9:30 at night, literally a half hour before they closed. She was the only one sitting on the shelf. And you know, there's this part of me that feels guilt, like, man, I don't want to take somebody else's Baroness, but I want one, you know? However, don't give in to scalpers. Don't go buy two, especially if you know that these things are hard to find. So, anyways, cool packaging, very nice art on the side here. You see the little serpent there. She's number 13 in the way, by the way. More nice art on the side. You can take my camera out. This is pretty big packaging, but you can see that looks really gold, man. Solid. On the back, we can see Cobra Island, and here you can see some Cobra symbols, G.I. Joe Classified. Now on that side, you get some more fun symbols and whatnot, and if you want the barcode, there is the barcode. So first off with Baroness, we get two of these guns here. They're both rifles, and they have the little laser beam thing on the end, and they really look a lot like something from Halo, just because of this arch on the top. Really gives me strong Halo vibes. But you can see she holds it okay. She kind of suffers from some poor elbow articulation, so you really can't get this to tuck into her bicep and have her look down like the sights of it or anything, even though there's not really sights on the top. So it doesn't look too great when she holds it, unfortunately. But the great thing about these, there's two of them, they have pegs on the side, and that is for one thing only. They port right into the bike and serve as two little guns on the bike that kind of fire shit, I guess. If you wanted, you could probably put it in her back. Actually, I don't know if you can. Yeah, you could, but you'd have to have this head off. The hair gets in the way, definitely. Second, we get this alternate bike helmet, which has really, really nice sculpt work, as you can see. All kinds of different line work to make it look very tech savvy. But it is just a flat black. However, the visor on it is actually a lot glossier than the helmet, so that's cool. And taking a look at her first head sculpt here, it isn't bad. It's okay. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I like it. It actually captures Baroness pretty well. I like the glasses and the gold tips on them. It looks very cool. The glasses are a bit foggy. The best part about this figure is, one, the lips are sculpted very nicely, and the nose and everything. There's no paint rubbing or anything. But the best part is his hair. It is a rubbery, soft kind of rubber, which is meant to knock on the way of the articulation, but it kind of does. But it's still very soft rubber and works pretty well, and I dig how it looks. And if you do want to pop the motorcycle head on, it's very, very easy to pop on, as you can see, and it looks very good. And if you did want to port the gun into her back, you can with this helmet on. However, it doesn't really fit in there too nice. It's in there almost too tight and sticks way out. Then here we have this Cobra, which is kind of, it doesn't have much of a purpose. You can get her to hold it. There's little paint rubbing right there. It's a bummer. But it looks beautiful. It's one of the best looking accessories we've gotten with the G.I. Joe figure so far, just because of how clean the paintwork is in these little intricate details, man. These little sculpting lines, and they managed to really have no paint smudging or anything. It just looks awesome. You can see it clearly is supposed to be this thing sticking out of its mouth, shooting a laser. And you can get it to wrap around her arm and make it look like it's kind of coming off of her arm, or she can hold the end of its tail as well, and that looks just fine. And then she comes with these two golden guns, which look very, very clean, very realistic looking. I really like the look of both of them. And she holds them superbly, very, very nice. And you can pop them out of her hands here. And she has two little holsters in the back here that you can just pop them into. I don't think there's any set way to do it. It doesn't look like it anyways. However, I definitely recommend putting the holsters out because it could hinder the articulation. I don't know if you could put them in. I mean, you probably could, but I don't. Actually looks like that might be the way they're meant to go, because you can see this little piece is sticking out, but no, maybe not, because there's no hole there, no opening. So yeah, I'd say put the holsters out. I think that probably looks the best and will be the best for her in terms of movement. This cool knife with her, which she holds decent. It's a little bit loose in her hand. As for the other one, it's definitely going to be more loose in that hand because this one is a bit more open. Sorry, I bumped my camera here because I'm trying to pull this out of her hand, pry it out. These hands are very stiff on all the G.I. Joe figures, really. But you can see here, It's even looser on that. And on the end here, it literally looks like two balls. I'm not gonna lie, that looks rough. And it's kind of weird. You think you'd have the Cobra facing out, but I think this is the correct way. However, they did sculpt a little snake on the end there, and it looks very, very nice, man. I love that detail. Very, very nice work. And if you don't want her to be holding it, which I don't think most people are going to have her holding it, you can just port it right into this little sheath here on her hip or her thigh, and it looks very good, and the Cobra's facing forward. That looks very dope. So just looking at Baroness here, one of my favorite things about her right off the bat is the fact that her outfit isn't her classic outfit. I mean, I like that. It's cool. It's cool to have that retro look, but this is very armor oriented. It looks very protective, and I like that. You get different blacks too, different glossy looks throughout. These legs here, these tall boots, very glossy, very scale armor-like, almost medieval. I love that look, man. And I love the pointed toes. Just looks very, very wicked, and I love that. I love the different Cobra symbols throughout as well. They did very nice paint and sculpt work on all of these, on her wrists as well, and her belt. Great attention to detail. A scaled material here that looks very much like a snake going throughout her armor here. You get some soft shoulder pads as well that also mimic serpents. This one does not, but this one does. That's kind of cool. And again, you see this scaly material going up here, and it cuts off. And you can see her pale kind of neck there. On the back, you see it carrying through too, a more armor-like material. But even her chest has a very nice armored look to it. And I like these gauntlets as well, very glossy. So you see this glossy look on her boots, on her gauntlets here, protecting her forearms, and her chest piece here. So all throughout, this is a really cool design for Baroness. And I just overall I just love this design. I love how this black gloss look kind of carries through on her stomach, and in the middle shooting up is this scaly look. So it's a very nice update on her look. I think it is very much needed, and just looks beautiful, man. Very, very good look overall. On the backside too, she just looks superb. The belt looks good. These holsters and sheaths look really, really good. Easily like 10 out of 10 for this overall design. I love it. Then one other thing that's really great about this Baroness figure is these shoulder pads. They implement this new kind of technology with articulation that the new Stormtrooper from the new Black Series wave uses. Basically, when you rotate it, obviously it rotates with the arm, but if I rotate it back and I hold it, it stays in the back there. It's not attached to the arm. It's not attached to her armor here. It is on like a rubber piece around the joint on the inside, and it doesn't get in the way of the articulation at all. And it's also a very soft rubbery piece, so very cool. I really like that new piece of technology or articulation. So as for Baroness's articulation, and this is without her hair. You saw what happens with her hair. It doesn't really stay on too well, the head, when you try to bend it back. So with her helmet, you can see she does look back pretty freaking far, man. Oh my gosh. But you can see that joint's really exposed and black, so that's a bummer. But she also does have a dumbbell joint in the neck like the other gel figures. So you get some really organic movement all throughout there. You can see there's kind of a pivot in the neck and stuff. A nice rotation as well. It's very tight and snug on there. Her head looks very, very far down. But again, this is very, very exposed. But I really like that neck joint. That's beautiful. And it looks like there's a little bit of paint rubbing right there, like a silver look. It's kind of a bummer, but oh well. There is, I guess there's one problem with the articulation in my opinion. But first we do get butterfly joints, a rotation here at the elbow, or the shoulder. But I like the fact they included the butterfly joints. They're nice, but they are useless pretty much. There's really not a huge purpose behind them. I mean, they're nice to have. It shows the care in the making of the figure, but there is no rotation in the bicep. There is a rotation here at the elbow. However, the articulation isn't that great. It goes about that far. It's a single joint, and you can see the arms obviously go out and stuff and just look good overall, but it's just this elbow joint that really does me in, because you really can't get her in good poses with her guns, man. Even just that typical pose where you have both arms going back with her pistols up in the air looks so freaking awkward and just not right. So it would have been nice if we had a better range of motion if they would have done just a better cut on the bicep, so this would go back a bit more. But whatever, man. It looks good overall, and that is just the only problem I have with this figure. I don't know about the bike, but this figure, that is my only problem. But yeah, like I said, there's a rotation here at the elbow. Obviously, just a single jointed hinge there. And then a rotation at the wrist, and both have this nice little joint that goes up and down versus in and out, away and towards her body. So this goes towards the ground. Both hands do that, which is nice when you're holding guns. It's a more natural, organic look. But when you have assault rifles on the bike that you could pop off and have her hold, she can't really hold them too nicely. It looks awkward. So whatever. But there's a swivel here at her abdomen, and then there's a swivel here down by her waist as well, and a rotation. And like I said, you get a really nice pivot with these figures, man. Look at how golden that is. And it's a very solid rotation, and it's easy to do. You're not going to break anything. This is a soft plastic piece on the groin area, so that's solid, man. I love when they do that. However, it could have gone up a little bit higher. It's covered by the belt, but you can actually see the joint in there very, very well. So whatever. But it's covered by the belt for the most part, no big deal. The legs go out very, very far. They go forward and back, really nice. And there is the drop down. You can see that, very cool. There is a rotation at the thigh that goes all the way around, double jointed knees, and then no rotation below the knee, but there is a hinge here at the toe or the foot, and there is a nice ankle pivot. So overall, this bike has a lot of detail going on, but some details are lacking. Just little things like this looks really plasticky in here, but I mean it's plastic, man. What do you expect? One thing I would have liked though was to see these all metallic looking, man. And just little screws and stuff would have been cool. These are metallic, but it's not like I can't take paint and do it myself, and I'll do a fine job. Would have been cool to have these springs though, looking metallic too. Aside from that, we have a nice variation of colors all throughout. Very nice metallic colors here going through the bike, and a very nice glossy black over this just regular black here on the leather seat, and a little bit of gloss up here too. Aside from that, there's not a whole lot of colors going on, just 3 basic colors that are all throughout. But there's nice little designs on here, man, around this here. See some stuff, numbers, 5,000, don't know what that means. There is a number on here, 01 somewhere. Yeah, right there, 01. And these do come off and on very, very easily. Very nice details on the front here, too, of the bike. You get a nice metallic color there, nice green going through this really foggy-looking windshield. It's not very clear, but whatever. And you can see the speedometers there are done really crappy. They just have some black lines, so those aren't doing too great. But I like the Cobra symbols on it. That looks really cool. And I mean, I didn't expect the speedometers to be all that great, so whatever. It looks good for the most part, and I like the green colors. It's nice contrast colors. And there is a nice little kickstand on the bottom here that kind of snaps forward and back. And there's 2 little places to put her feet. You can put them here, or I think here. It would have been nice if there was a peg on this too. These are obviously grips for a foot, so whatever. One thing that is really cool about this that I've never seen Hasbro do before is when you move this front tire, the handlebars move as well. So she'll be moving when you're actually moving the bike, or depending on the pose you have it in. So that's really nice. Aside from that, I don't have a whole ton of complaints about this thing. I really like it. I just don't really like the screws being visible, but it's to be expected. It's a hunk of plastic, and it looks really cool, and I'm excited to get her on this thing. So let's take a look at her and how she sits on the bike. And this here is personally gonna be my favorite look, and I already know it. I haven't tried the other way, but this looks awesome, man. Look at how cool she looks with her feet on the back there. One thing I do want to mention too that I failed to mention is they painted the little buckles here on her boots. How nice is that? But very cool looking. And I love how when I move this tire, she's not coming off the handlebars or anything. It's a very natural, organic look, and it's just badass. I love how her body kind of hugs the bike. So it's just a very sleek, dope look, like she is really going to be zooming through streets and shit. So very, very nice looking on the bike. Yeah, and if you wanted to get her with her feet pegged in on the bottom there, it looks like crap. And here's my small rant for this figure, all right? This is the biggest problem, aside from these elbows that needs to be fixed. But here's the biggest problem. And the Punisher that I just got has the same problem. When you put a figure on a bike like this, you need to have some kind of articulation below the knee. Otherwise, you get some duck feet going on, man. Seriously, you get some major duck feet, and one of these is going to come off, and it sits so freaking awkward. So, I mean, you can really only get one foot on there at a time. It just looks weird. Maybe you can make it work better than I can. Have fun. But I know it shouldn't be this difficult. It shouldn't be that much of a pain in the butt. And I think Hasbro would probably agree. Overall, this figure is solid, though. And I mean, getting her hands on the handlebars and both feet on these pegs at the same time just doesn't really look good, man. It doesn't look as good as those back places are grips or her feet, I guess. This is just kind of uglier, honestly. I'm not as big of a fan when her feet are down here. I like the look where she's going like hugging the bike, like I said, and her feet are going back here. They really should have put pegs on this spot rather than this spot. So I think most people are going to pose her with the feet back here. That looks the best to me. If you are going to put the feet on here, it's probably best to do it with one leg sticking out, kind of like a stopped pose. And here she is with one foot pegged in on this side and one out. You can see that looks pretty good. I do like how this pose looks. I just wish they would have added a little bit of a rotation there, even down here, if there's some kind of rotation under here. Like, that's just kind of a bummer, man. But I do like this for the most part. So here she is next to Destro, who I believe is her love interest, but I could be totally wrong. I think I remember that from the G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra movie, which was just a dumpster fire. But I think in the cartoon they were too. I don't know. But she compares in size really nice to Destro. And next to Scarlet, she looks okay. I wish Scarlet would have been a bit taller, man. But Baroness is the second female figure we've gotten. And hopefully they re-release Scarlet just being a bit bigger, maybe. I think she would have been better off if she was like Baroness's height. I don't know how they are in the show, though. But for the most part, they look really good together. And I like her size relative to the other Joes. So this is a beautiful figure, man. She's one of the greatest Joe figures we've gotten. She only reinforces the standard that these figures have set for 6-inch 1/12 scale figures, man. She is top of the line, just like all the other figures, and totally worth the money. The accessories, the bike, man, everything. Just the overall sculpt work. I mean, they freaking sculpted this Cobra symbol on her chest. I love that. That's beautiful, man. It's great to see sculpted details like that. Even on her gauntlets, these are sculpted. Holy Christ. They go all out with these figures, and I really hope we see stuff like this with the Legends, you know. So this articulation and these kinds of accessories are just, wow. Accessories, Legends has got it, but the articulation, they're still catching up with these. These are great. My rant, and I'm going to try to cut this short, is hold out for this figure, man. If you can't find it, don't go pay 3 times the price, because I would bet my life that this figure will be re-released without the bike at some point in the future. So, I mean, just be patient. If you absolutely cannot find it months from now, I'm sure she'll be online for way less the price than what she's up for right now. This has been hard to find, and I know people have been finding it like the past 2 weeks and posting it for way too much. So, don't give in to scalpers, man. Be patient, be vigilant, keep checking Pop Finder and Brickseek and whatever, and hopefully you get hold of her. And I hope you all do, man. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, because this is a great figure and everyone deserves to have this Baroness in their collection. So, anyways, guys, thank you for watching this review. I appreciate it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video, give it a thumbs up, and make sure you comment down below. Tell me if you've had trouble finding her. Let me know if you do have it, what you think of her. And yeah, just let me know what you think overall of this video and the G.I. Joe line. And are you going to be picking her up, or are you just going to pass because you can't find her? Let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay healthy, stay home, and keep collecting. Peace.